Okay.
Diane, how are you? Right.
I am exhausted. Just a day of helping someone paint a room.
Oh, yeah.
You're finding new muscles.
Yeah, reaching tall places that you're not used to. That'll get you every time. So the chair of the committee is not here. We are calling to order a communications committee meeting. We have in attendance Mayor Hughes, myself, Councilman Wolf, or Councilperson Wolf, Councilperson Benedetti, Councilperson Bruger, and Councilperson Schrimpf. We had informally started discussing before you arrived, Diane, but we are calling the meeting in order now. We were discussing communication strategy for the levy. And what we had primarily discussed to this point was using the next village newsletter going out for that, right? So it goes into, it's get mailed to each mailbox. Its timing is such that it is intended to arrive, Mayor Hughes, I think you said October 2nd, right? Thereabouts.
I would like for it to go.
Yeah.
My goal is to have it in people's. I don't know what the date is.
Yeah, thereabouts.
We would be right if you guys got me the information by, let's just go with Monday. I would have it complete by the 23rd, 24th at the latest, and we would get it to the printer.
Okay.
That would be my ultimate goal.
So, okay, and then the upside to that is that we are really only spending the money already budgeted for a newsletter. There's no additional spend to getting a mailer out for this. And then we had just started to discuss the possibility that maybe closer to, because October 2nd is just before early voting starts, maybe towards the end of October, a hand-delivered flyer might be possible if there's an appetite for it later. So that's where we're at now, Diane. You are caught up.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for the update.
What thoughts do you have in all of that?
I think that sounds okay. Maybe later, since we have the article already written for the village update, it could be used. People could be invited, or we could say if you want to know more about it, there's a write-up, and you can, or drop by the village to pick it up if you don't have the update anymore. We could put signs. We could do some, just some signs like we do for everything else, Easter egg hunt and all that. Just remember to vote on, or whatever, however you say it politically correct.
Yeah. I think the signs get tricky because then you can't tell people to vote yay or nay. You can only ask them to vote. And, please vote regarding the levy doesn't have the same je ne sais quoi as vote yes, for, vote no, vote for, vote against, right? All of those are, it's too tempting, I think. But that's just my opinion. But let's move forward on one. So Tiffany, you said you would need an article or whatever is going in the newsletter by Monday, is what you were saying.
Well, I think we should. I think we should just have it up for review at council or the council meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so after that.
Yeah. No, that's good. So we could review that message. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, Tiffany, I was just reiterating, so you go ahead.
You guys are going to have, Mark already knows, Mark and Brian and maybe Tony already knows this. You guys are going to have something that you're going to need to pass on Monday in regards to the levy that's going to have to get sent to the auditor by October 1st. It's a document that was completely delayed, that we just got the certified amount, which is the amount. I think you guys were asking about this. We now have the certified amount that this is going to generate. It's like 230. You asked about this, Diane. Right. 237,000 and some whatever. That's going to go to the general fund. So I will have that document. So if you guys want to use that exact dollar amount in your guys' flyer, you're more than welcome to. Sorry. I don't know what I just
mean.
I have no idea. But that document is going to be asked to be passed. Obviously, we have to pass it as an emergency. We have to waive the readings, do all of that. But point is we have the certified amount that you need that you may want for this document, and I will make sure you guys get that tomorrow. If somebody wants to start typing it up or doing anything with it, they're more than welcome to.
Right. When is Kim most available to answer a question?
For this, honestly,
And for anything, but for this, if I ask her what percentage of the total, if I asked her a couple questions about it,
email it to her, and she usually responds. She will respond on the weekend. She will respond. She's
Okay.
very good at responding. Yes. So you can text her if you need her text. That's fine. If you just need her, her email. But you're more
Yeah, I
welcome.
don't have she used to have I guess, I don't know, did she ever have a Minerva Park of her own?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Kate
yes.
Pulley at
It keeps
minervapark.org.
Okay,
Yep. It's just Kate Pulley at minervapark.org.
okay.
So yes, email her.
That's still her email?
Yes.
Okay.
So anybody that has questions that feels like that would help with the flyer, feel free to put it together, email her. I'll even let her know. But yeah, she even said tonight during the safety meeting that if we had questions, we could text her. Or call her if we had questions for the safety meeting. So.
Yeah, if she prefers a text, then I don't think
Either one. I'm sure she does not mind either one.
okay.
I know sometimes it's easier to do an email.
Yeah, I know I have texted her in the past a couple times, but I didn't save the phone number. I didn't.
Yeah. And I have it. If you need it, obviously I'm not going to read it over here, but if you need
Right.
if you need it, just send me a message. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
So that takes us to who is crafting said thing. And for as much as I love to talk, I really hate to write. I'm not going to lie about that.
I don't mind doing it. I have to remember to do it, but I don't mind doing it if Kim gives me a little bit of information, and I'll look at some past thing we've done to kind of stimulate. I'll at least do a draft and see what you guys think.
Okay. I mean, yeah, for a percentage, I think our total budget is like 2.2 million, so it's just over 10% of our total revenue, right?
I wanted to look at it more as the general fund.
Got it. All right. Yeah, no, so that is settled, right? At least for the task at hand. What else were we looking to tackle? I know that was the big thing. That was our first and most pressing.
Well, I don't think we were, with Becky being out, I guess the point was, there's stuff that does need to be done, but I mean, she doesn't have everything loaded and anyway, I think we should probably wait a little bit longer before we start.
So when you say, because I've been trying to, pull up a resolution,
Yeah.
I'd asked about, and I can't get anything.
Well, we're kind of,
Is that one of the things that's still being?
well, that depends. You have to navigate a little bit for it, but she's not up to date. So.
Well, I mean, I can get like recent ordinances, where I'm talking about like the historical stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it just goes.
Let me share my screen.
The historical ones up to 2000.
Yeah, so I'm sharing my screen. So if I searched it actually once looking into 2017. So, hold on.
Popped up. I saw it.
Right. So yeah, so there's 2017. And if you want to look at this ordinance, there it is.
All right. Wow. For some reason, it's not working on my phone like that.
Oh, on your phone. I don't know if it's, I don't know about that on the phone.
Well,
That's a lot of interaction, because if can you open PDFs on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
let's see what it's under government. No.
I'll play around with it some more. Maybe I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Because
I was just going to try it on.
I can get to the computer, but man, I'll do everything on my phone. It's with me all the time.
Government. Legislation. And 20, here, we'll try a different year, 2016.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to find the development text for the the new development.
Yeah, it'd be easier to find that. I don't know if it's, I
'Cause I
hadn't
know
seen it
before
until they had put it on the resolution. I had never seen it.
Hmm.
Well, it
It,
might not
it
be part
doesn't,
of,
Because see,
yes.
my problem with that is, if you want to call this communications, but my problem is that when we put resolutions and ordinances, especially resolutions on there, and they have attachments, oftentimes the attachments are not
not there.
incorporated on purpose. I mean, they're not added.
Well, that's
Yeah,
isn't that a procedural thing with how you,
Yeah, because when they become codified, because I did 2018, I did 2018, and I said, where are all the attachments for things that they see attachment or whatever? And each page that you have them codified for you costs you some cash. And it adds up over time. And I think what happened was, as a policy, somebody said, oh, it's going to be too expensive if we have them copy all the attachments and get them all up there. It's going to be too expensive. And let's not do that.
I don't think that has anything to do with it, does it?
No, I actually think
I
that,
just was looking at some.
go ahead,
Okay,
Mark.
so I want to remind everybody one thing really fast. There is a search bar. In the search bar, if you type in development text, I just found page 3 of 29 of development text
Ooh.
from 2016. So you guys are all forgetting about the search bar.
No, I didn't forget about the search bar.
And the
So-
attachment's all there, page
Maybe
29
it's my
pages.
phone.
It could be.
My phone.
So two things. Tony, I just tried on my phone and it was tricky to put in the year because it does like an auto search. So as soon as you have
It's
two
usually
numbers
not-
in,
and then it takes, all
Right.
right, it isn't my
Yeah.
phone. It's just,
no. It definitely, because it wants to like refresh as soon as there's data in there. And I had to basically, I put in the 2, it refreshed and said, that's not a year. I put in a 0, it refreshed, that's not a year.
right.
A 1, and then finally when I got the 6 in, it was like, oh, that's a year. I know what to do with that.
Okay.
So, so it works, but it is a little persnickety. And as far as attachments not being in the codification, I think that it was an administrative issue at the time, meaning that I don't know that the attachments traveled with the ordinances
Right.
ever, right? Because they were never posted to our website with the attachments, and they took whatever was in the website and sent that off to the codifier.
Right.
And intentional might be a little strong a word for it. I think
It was
it
just never
was.
required. It was never expected to have the attachment included.
I don't know that I would say that either,
No.
because I remember when I was on council before, we asked multiple times that it be, posted
But
with the
it slipped through the
attachments.
cracks a lot easier before.
Yeah, absolutely. That is true.
And that's something we can make sure that we do. Now it's also something that in order to go back and fix 10 years, 5 years, 20 years.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
you're not going
attachment,
to be able to do that.
Yeah, you're probably, well, to be fair, we probably have, so I'm going a little far in here, but the way it works for us is we have a common drive, and the common drive is the legislation, and every single year going back probably at least 10 years, there is working documents, and in there it'll have ordinance 2014-22, and most of those may have right underneath that, here's the attachment for this particular document. So my point is we may be able to fix back a couple years. We may not be able to go back to 2000 or 1989, but there is a chance that we could potentially add some of that stuff to the website just to get it updated. So I'm not saying it's going to get into the codified ordinances at this point in time, but it's something on downtime once we get past permit season of fences and decks and all that kind of stuff, because right now they've really, it'll be interesting to see how many decks and building permits and all that stuff that we've done since, during the COVID thing and all of that. But once they slow down and they don't get as many of that things, we may have some time to go back and do stuff like that, which would be great. At least some of them.
Absolutely.
I don't know, maybe now's the time to talk about what exactly the communications committee is supposed to do while we're.
No, we can't do that.
While there's.
If Joe's not here, we can't do that because
I would,
we're just wasting our time if we do that when he's not.
While that is,
we wouldn't waste time if he wasn't here and we could get something accomplished.
Yeah.
well, while I agree with much of that sentiment, I think that we'd have to rehash it all. And any decisions that were made in this party without the chair of the committee is not necessarily in the best faith, right?
Any decisions,
Right.
but
Right.
Well, like I would say, and again, I absolutely know that and believe that discussion needs to be had, and I've tried to have that discussion on 3 previous occasions, but it never.
I thought I tried this time when
even when we have come to agreement in the committee, it seems like the agreement doesn't stick.
Right.
So there is the problem there.
Mhm.
But it would be like if if it was a streets committee meeting and you didn't show up, Tony, and the people who did show up say, hey, let's redefine what this committee is.
I get
It-
it. Yeah,
It's
I
not
get it.
not exactly kosher.
Well, I think, in I don't know, Joe's defense, we haven't, it's a new committee and, I guess I feel bad because I think I was as big a voice in getting this committee created and it's not really.
Well, I think that
Not doing well.
because again, we've had exactly the what is this committee conversation on at least 2, probably 3 other occasions.
I would agree.
We came to agreements, and then the very next email out from Joe was something exactly not what we agreed in the meeting.
All right.
So,
Well, I think like Diane had said, once the website gets, nailed down or whatever, we might have something to talk about.
Well, we still wanted to have our own, council wanted to have a page, and there was some other talk about having a page for this or that, but I know that the priority was for Becky or somebody to be working on a page to, pay fees or fill out information on a code enforcement problem or report an issue.
Most of those are already there. You'll be able to find those on there. The other thing is there's a no knock order that she has uploaded on. There's a lot. I mean, every day we kind of come up with some different things that we want to put on there as well.
Well, I'm not talking about things. I just mentioned the forms, which is more
so here,
formal.
I think, and maybe I'm going to say this incorrectly, and maybe you guys don't like what I'm about to say, but I think at some point, I'm not really sure. I continually hear Becky's working on it, and
that's not it, Brian. That I know that's a program that's somebody else's program.
Oh,
Is there a form that we designed internally?
We've done several. Go to forms and permits. I don't know if it's under that.
Are you? Yeah.
So there, you have all of your fence permits. No, she showed it to me, and maybe it's not on here yet, but I know we were working on it. Hang on.
And are you suggesting an in-house built form to pay tickets?
Knock list. She just did the do not knock list. No, there is somewhere that if you have.
Right.
I feel like it's at the top corner, like right in the top. Hang on.
Well, no, the do not knock. Here's the do not knock.
No.
And a contact us.
But you had said that, didn't you say, Tiffany, did I hear you wrong, that you were going to have one for residents to be able to report code violations?
Yeah, it's already there. I really feel like it's already on there.
Okay.
Hang on.
Well, put in a search.
See, I'm also on my phone, so that's why I'm.
Phones.
Oh, I know where it is. Hang on. And people are already using it. Give me a second.
Of course they are.
village
It
code.
basically is just it's basically just a submit a request, staff directory. You put your email, you can put your question, your first name, your last name, your email, and your question. And we have gotten questions that are very random, and it basically filters to her, and then she forwards it to where she needs to. So at the very top, if you click on contact us,
Yeah.
Contact us.
people they can contact you for anything and everything. So we have had people ask whether or not they can get married at the lake. We have had whether or not you can canoe at the lake. So it isn't specific to like a complaint, but you can submit a request for anything right there. So we get those, every single day. And then she basically forwards them to myself, code enforcement, if it goes to Eric, that type of thing. So could we make it more specific? Again, absolutely. If you click right next to it, staff directory, they can send us a direct, click on that. And then they can actually send it directly from there.
Oh, so it's not a form, it's just a way to get an email.
A way to contact. So
Yeah.
yes, so
But
no,
you
it
could-
wasn't an actual form, but we did do the do not knock because we have had quite a few solicitors that we wanted an updated list for people to go on there and do that. So I'm going to go back to what I was getting ready to say. People
I like
wanting, we've thrown around a lot of different things, but here's how and I kind of said this the last time. You guys can talk to Becky at any given time. She was on vacation the first week of September, but I was under the understanding that that Joe was going to reach out and schedule a time for her to kind of walk through it and give you guys ideas and let you guys give feedback or this or that. But anybody can email her at any given time. Somebody said that there's some typos or this or that. Let's not let those sit on there. Clearly, I've not noticed it or she's not noticed it. If there's something on there that you've noticed or you have an issue or problem with, please let us know right now. Getting the, additional information under latest news. But if there's certain things you don't like, now's pretty much the time to do it. I mean, I'm not, every day this is going to be a work in progress. As you're aware, she works on the website pretty much daily, but that's not the only thing that she does daily. Again, she does her permits. She does, whether it's a plumbing permit or anything like that. She answers the phone, she answers the door. She does way more than anybody. So if you're waiting for something magical to happen that she's just going to be working on it 12 straight hours to get it perfect, it could be July of next year before we get everything uploaded to this new website. Being able, again, every day she goes in here, every time we have one of these meetings, she's in there, she has to download this and upload it back to here. It is very time consuming every day just to keep it up to date. So continually going backwards and updating things is something she does nonstop. You can see the agenda packets on these, but there's so many more agenda packets that she works on and she's uploading those as fast as she can. But every time somebody comes to the door or the phone rings, she stops and goes and does that. So my point being is I continually hear, because at first, she didn't even know how to work the thing. We're past that at this point. I think at this point, if there's things that people don't like, if there's something that, again, there's issues. Again, she uploads these as much as she can. She has all the way to August of 2020 uploaded. So many things are completely up to date. Many are not. Many are in process. So again, I'm going to repeat myself again. If there's something that you have a concern with, if there's something you want to see, now is your time. I mean, it's not all going to be on there until who knows when. So whenever you're ready to bring her in, if you have specific questions, feel free to email her, email myself if you want something fixed, if you don't like something. When you're ready to start adding a page to, the council wants their own page. Again, where do you want it? What link do you want it on? What, do you want it under government? Do you want this? Do you want that? Now's your time to start doing it because I don't think
that's fine. I
there's
mean,
not a
I would
completion.
think that she would want to tell us what the rules are for adding a page so we don't ask for something that we can't have, but we can do it
But
the
I would
opposite way.
also-
We can just say whatever we think we want and she can
and
then
she'll
go
find
say,
out too.
no, that's not right, or that's right, or you can't do it that way, or we can't have that, or whatever.
I mean, and I would say a lot of it is going to be her calling, her calling Municode and saying, this is what we're interested in doing. How can we make that happen? So I don't know if she's going to know off the top of her head how to turn this section, have like a blog section right here. It might be an add-on and I'm making that up because I clearly have no idea. But at this point, I think now is your time. If there's something you want added to it, this is going to always be a work in progress. I think that's really what I'm trying to say. So if there's something that people don't like, it's not going to magically disappear. This is your,
Well,
standard.
I'd just like to see her be updated with council minutes and all that. And I guess she
That's
does
gonna
that
take
too,
forever.
right?
Right, and
Right.
not all of the council minutes have been passed yet. And again,
They
with,
can't be passed until they're copied up. So
correct,
is she the one that does that as well?
she does that as well.
So
So, yeah,
I'd like to see her do that as a priority over some other stuff, perhaps. I don't know what, but in terms of, you know, having it available, I think it's more important to be up to date on the minutes and have them posted.
so, and that, she has been doing it. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, she gets quite a few done, and, you know, a lot of our meetings are 2 hours long. So if you can imagine a 2 hour long meeting and trying to
Well,
decipher
you know,
between the
we've
minutes.
talked about that too, how it doesn't have to be verbatim.
And they're not. You guys know that they're
So-
not. We usually narrow it down to 2 or 3 pages, maybe 4 pages, something along those lines. So they're not verbatim, but you still have to listen to 2 hours worth. And, you
Right.
know, when there's 8 hours in a day and you get interrupted 14 times, and it's not an excuse, but they take time. They definitely take time.
I'm just saying, I am just saying that I wish they were a priority.
And unfortunately, the
I'm
phone
not
ring,
saying they don't take time. I'm not
Right.
saying she's not busy. I'm not saying she doesn't have a zillion things to do. I just
How
think that
far behind is it?
minutes should be,
How far behind are the minutes right now?
they're not that far, I don't think. Go
Wait a
back
minute.
right there.
Where?
Um,
Is
you
it
were
here?
just there.
Yeah, I know. I think I got there from here and then I went here,
Agendas and minutes, right there.
right? And so is the,
Work sessions, we don't really do them for. Legislative committee, we don't really do them for. Work session, council meeting, we have August council meeting agenda packet.
so
so the,
it's
well,
not,
but does the
it has to
agenda,
be, it has
So it
to
looks like
be,
about July, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, July. So yes, right, that sounds right.
oh, minutes, there's the
There's
column
the
for
minutes.
minutes.
So it looks like
Yeah,
we're
you
at
gotta
July
have that,
13th
yeah.
right now.
June 22nd is the last.
Is the last one. So, and again, it's a matter of, you know, sitting down and doing them and not getting interrupted 14 times. So, and I can make sure that she is fully aware that council would like to see that as a priority. But I know that she literally sits there with headphones in her ears and tries to do them. And
Well, but
again,
she already has the minutes because we approve them.
No, we haven't
Fully
approved
approved
minutes
every
passed.
She writes the minutes. She writes up the minutes for us to approve.
Well,
Correct. So we
right,
haven't
but I
approved
mean,
minutes
haven't we
passed.
approved what? So we
No,
haven't
we
approved
haven't.
minutes?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So, and I do think this does fall under communication because the minutes is a good place for people to go to look to see what the heck we've been talking about.
Right.
yes.
Is there an appetite to hire a temp to catch us up? I mean,
I think here's what I'm going to say. I think for the short amount of time that it is, it's hard to get a temp in there because a temp, you actually have to, we've talked about this before, with an actual temp, you have to pass legislation and do your 3 readings and all that kind of stuff versus if I hire somebody as an hourly person, but who's going to come in and take a job that pays, and I'm going to be honest with you, you guys don't even know this, so I'm just going to tell you, maybe you guys are all going to get mad that I'm about to say this, but I actually brought my daughter in to do a small project. We did not pay her. She did it as a volunteer because it was a tedious thing like this. So she did it strictly as a senior volunteer hours for college. So we have done that. She actually is the person that uploaded all of the pool. She did all of the pool, not the pool finances, but basically like the spreadsheets. She comes in, she's come in twice a month. She's done those for the entire season. She'll come in one more time and do the final ones for that. So, I mean, I would prefer to, you know, have her do something like that if you guys are okay with that, because it would be easier for me to do something like that than to hire somebody and go through 3 readings and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't think we're that far behind. I mean, I know it looks like, you know, you have July and August and we're only at the 1 meeting. So technically it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a lot because if they figure people have the 30 days to, you know, to squawk, or maybe, you know, if they don't have an opportunity to sit through 2 hours either, but they
Well,
are interested and they're willing to go through and check the minutes to see if there's anything they're interested in. I mean, if we're that far behind, then by the time they're not having an opportunity to pop into a council meeting or to say something before we pass it. A lot of times, if it's not current, I think it's important for it to be current.
Right.
I have to agree with Diane on this one because, maybe we do need to talk about getting somebody in here to help out because
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's starting to get on the borderline of being illegal. Not having minutes available for this long after. I mean, I may be exaggerating, but it's not
Yeah,
good.
I do feel like there is, well, I mean, we can Google ORC. Yeah. ORC meeting minutes. Public meeting exceptions. That's probably not it, but it gets us into the right.
And I'm gonna
Yeah.
check the last agenda packet to make sure that there's not some that aren't just uploaded. We didn't do any this past meeting. Let's look at August. Well, I'm literally thinking that I can click on yours, Brian.
That happens. Even worse is when you're used to a touch screen and you're touching your screen.
You're
Yeah,
touching
you're like,
sugar. What-
seriously?
Yeah.
That happens all the time. General classifications, annexation. No, this isn't it.
Okay, here we go.
There's got to be something in the,
Oh, I'm certain there are. Public meetings, any control F minutes. The minutes of a regular special meeting of any public body shall be promptly prepared, filed, maintained, and shall be open to the public. The minutes need only reflect the general subject matter. So
it sounds to me like
what
the
it
word
comes-
promptly is where it
Right.
boils down to. What is your
Right, and then-
definition of promptly?
right. Right.
Well, and I tell you what, if you've ever seen Westerville's Board of Ed minutes, it is barely just the titles. There's no detail. It'd be like
Yeah.
this read, period, and maybe not even a description, just the number for it. So
Yeah, the minutes technically could be as simple as our meeting agenda with like one sentence under each. of
Right.
the-
Yeah, but I don't
of
wanna
the
get
bullet
into-
points.
I'd like to not get into that.
Oh, I know. I like the beefier minutes for sure. They're certainly more useful later,
Yeah.
but
I can tell
even
you.
if it was,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, even if it was just to catch us up, maybe 2 months of mediocre minutes so that we could have good minutes promptly going forward might be worth the cost.
I did, when Becky was out on leave, I volunteered to do the minutes. So the thing is I was at the meetings. And so
Right.
I just took notes at the meeting. So the only time I went back to the recording was just if there was something where I got interrupted or whatever, and I want to go back and listen to it again. But that's what I did. And that's what I'm saying. If we had a clerk of council, which we kind of budgeted for but didn't do, we would have them at our council meetings and they would be taking notes right then. And then they complete it, they gussy it up and they're done. And if you do have to listen to 2 hours of to and fro, it is.
It is.
I mean, that's a good point.
It's exhausting. I did it, and it's exhausting. So, I still think it's a good idea to hire someone to go to the council meetings, be familiar with all of us and what goes on, and then to take notes and then just go and take care of the minutes immediately.
I think that's a great idea. I mean,
What
what if
else?
we just paid someone to come to the meeting?
Well, exactly. Pay them.
Right,
Exactly.
pay someone to come to the meeting. Heck, your
So-
daughter. I don't want to.
No, I'm not. I actually.
I don't think it would be much more than that.
No, the reason I did it that way was because I didn't it was just easier for me to do it as a volunteer, whatever. So, we could either ask if there's a resident that has any interest in volunteering to come to the committee, to the actual council meetings and doing it. The other option is, like you said, we could pay $25 per meeting or something like that. And actually, I mean, I don't know how you guys would want to do it. If you would, because hourly, I think we pay like $14 an hour.
Yeah, we should think about either, I was thinking about either per meeting. I was think, yeah, per meeting makes more sense because I just think that would be easier. But yeah, I think we should pay somebody. I think we should pay them per meeting. And because that way, if we have 3 council meetings, and I think that we should put an ad in the village update to ask if there are any residents who are interested. And, we should, and I think as council, since it would be like a clerk of council or whatever, that if that's, I mean, the council could designate a person or two to interview people. I think if they were doing council minutes, then they could have a council liaison to ask about any kind of clarifications they needed, and that council liaison, whichever one of us it is, could then make sure that they got that done timely and that sort of thing, and that they were doing a good job. I think we could take on that responsibility as since it's council minutes. And
if we were,
I mean, because technically a clerk of council, which we don't have because Leia's really Leia's taking over for Kim, and Kim used to be called the clerk of council also. She was doing that role as well, but we're not having that now. And so we don't have to have a full clerk of council, but because that person also can prepare legislation and agenda, technically. But if we don't have a full clerk of council that also does agendas, which we could do, but if we didn't do that, if we just wanted to have someone come and do the minutes, then we could,
I think it's a great idea. I think this is the best communications committee meeting we've had.
Right. And the only thing that I would say as far as the clerk of council and doing the agendas and doing all that kind of stuff is, and the legislation, that's all great, except for they would need to be in the community building. And I've run out of room for people in the community building, especially during COVID right now. So, that's.
Yeah, I don't think I have to agree that I don't think we're ready for that. If we had if we were more technically forward, which we're not, then that would be different.
I will agree with you because just for the record, when you guys pick on legislation, 75% of the time it's my errors. So I don't have anybody that does my legislation. I mean, you did one the other day, Diane, but when you guys see, and occasionally Kim will do one if it's something that is totally from scratch, but if it's not totally from scratch, it's me doing it. So I would love somebody a clerk of council that could help do some of the legislation and, making sure that, we dot our I's and cross our T's before it gets to you guys. So, it's something that I'm not in disagreement with. Maybe by the time we get a new building and we have somewhere, but I don't even have another computer or a corner to sit somebody in.
Hey, we just got a garage.
The thing is I think this would be a good first step. Why don't we take this first step, especially if we can, and it may take us more than one person to find the right person, but I suspect there are a number of people in the village who would like a little extra pocket money and who are very responsible. Know how to use Word and have Microsoft Word at home they could do this on. And it's not, classified information. So, I mean, it's something that it could be emailed around or whatever. So,
well, and right now they could just be on the Zoom meeting and doing it just like we are.
Exactly.
So do this for me before we go too far in detail on this, because I know she's been working on some. For all I know, she has 2 or 3 sitting on her desk already done, ready for the next meeting. I don't want to say that, but I do know she's been working on some, and this may be a mute point at this point.
I don't think it should be a moot point because I do think she has. I think someone needs to be at the meeting in order to not waste so much time. And I think Becky needs to be doing other stuff with her time. I think this this makes sense to do.
Now,
No matter
with this
what.
person we're talking about, would this be just for council meetings? Would this be going up to, because just council meetings, you have what, three a month, $75, or would they be doing things in committee meetings and such as well?
No,
How
it's
much-
actually only 2 meetings.
Well, whatever,
Good,
which
that's
ones do
true.
we do minutes for? We don't do minutes for the committee meetings.
We
So
don't-
this would just be for the 2.5, call it, because half the time that middle one gets turned into a real council meeting so we can read
Sure.
legislation.
That just reminded me that we don't pass any minutes in the planning and zoning.
Right, you guys should be doing minutes.
We should.
I know,
That just clicked with me.
the last chair used to do the minutes. She was good. She did her minutes. So, but you're supposed to do minutes in that. It's a commission, not a committee.
No,
You're supposed to do minutes.
I blame it on COVID. It just clicked with me just now. We had the meeting last night and man, we didn't approve any minutes. I don't think we've ever approved minutes.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any.
not since, yeah, no, she could, yeah, we could say that that the council meetings plus
Well, that's what I'm
the
getting at. Maybe we could have a.
planning and zoning is probably a good one to have minutes for as well. But yeah, I mean, that's all, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, just a little extra.
Yeah, I was just making sure I was following along.
Yeah,
And again, I don't know how you guys would want to do, this is just something now I'm going to get into the weeds a little bit. You guys, I would figure out whether or not you want to do a flat rate or an hourly, because sometimes our Monday night meetings go into 2 or 3 hours. Some Monday night meetings, I mean, I dream of the day we can get to some of these Monday night meetings under 20 minutes again. So.
but I think if we
you had a
do
conflict.
a rate assuming a 2-hour meeting, it's so, you know, the second meeting's only half hour. Well, that's, so what?
It's still
Another
a
meeting might
drive
be
there
2.5
over.
hours.
Perfect.
Comes
I'm
out
fine
the
with that. I
wash.
just want to make sure you guys are.
Yeah, I
Excellent
would
idea.
suggest just 25 a meeting, nice round number.
Mhm.
Obviously it's not, but it's a nice multiple of 5. You know,
And
maybe it's
What do you
not
think
a
of the
great
number,
hourly
Brian?
rate.
Would you
But I
like
tell
to
you
do any
what-
other factoring on that number? Or?
Yeah, but I tell you what, I
Nancy,
don't make a great hour rate for those meetings either. So I'm okay if they just get their $25 a meeting. That's all I get paid.
I mean, there will be those meetings. I mean, we've had special council meetings to read a piece of legislation,
Yeah,
and they've been all of 7 minutes,
right.
and that's a boon. And
That's
then we've
maybe-
had those slog it out council minutes meetings that have gone 3 hours, and that's the average, right? That's how it all works out.
Perfect.
All right, so I think that's a good idea that can be moved ahead on, and we are looking at 7:53. I'm feeling like this is 53 on my clock there.
I've
Mr.
had
Drew.
enough village talk for one day.
I have had enough village talk for one day.
Oh, just
I,
tell me what did you guys
I-
decide on the safety? I'm sorry I wasn't here for that. I
Alright,
was-
so on the safety, the lawyer, Mark,
Hi,
you can
Mark.
go.
This is
Uh,
waving goodbye.
Yeah,
to
here, why don't
this.
we close this meeting and you can stop the recording so we don't have it on 2 different things, and we can chat a minute with Diane about the other thing. Right, so this meeting is over. What? You're muted.
I know.
Good.
I realize my dog's barking. So go do
Oh.
your meeting adjourned. All in favor?
Meeting is adjourned. All in favor? Aye. Yeah.
I